This will probably be the most important topic that I cover, which is a weird thing to say. I've covered heart attacks, strokes, diabetes. Eventually, I'll cover Alzheimer's, even cancer. But still, this is the most important topic. There's an old saying that if you put a frog in hot water, it'll jump out to save itself. But if you slowly increase that temperature over time, the frog won't notice and it'll die. I'm going to use that as an example, but number one, that's not true. And number two, why are you trying to boil frogs alive? Anyway, you are in that pot, and the temperature is slowly getting hotter. It is not your fault. You didn't notice the increase in temperature because you were literally born into it. In a way, the temperature of the pot started increasing about 10,000 years ago. But for the purposes of this topic, I'm going to say that it started 100 years ago. Companies started putting industrial waste into their food products. Let me repeat that. Companies started putting industrial waste into their food products. It started with cottonseed oil, which was a waste product of the cotton industry. When they processed that cottonseed oil further, they realized that it resembled lard. Keep in mind that back then, lard was primarily what Americans used to cook with. Crisco, which you can still buy today, stands for crystallized cottonseed oil. They were able to convince people that an industrial waste product was somehow healthier for humans than the fats humans had been using for thousands of years. If you look at the rate of occurrence for any disease, you'll notice a sharp increase shortly after Crisco became popular. These days, Crisco isn't the only product that we have to worry about. One group is vegetable oils. Basically, anything in the store that looks like this. Normally labeled as vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, rapeseed oil. There's quite a few others. You might notice that some of those oils are labeled as heart healthy. That is scary. The other group is solid products made to look like butter or lard, like Crisco or margarine. When someone comes to me and wants to get healthy, I normally start with nutrition, because once you get nutrition in line, the other things easily fall into place. We go through the food they have at home. Some stuff I tell them they can keep. Some stuff I say it's okay to eat it, but just don't buy it anymore. And some stuff I say throw it away. Vegetable oils are in that last category. I'm going to talk about a bunch of different ways that these products can mess you up. And you might think to yourself, there's no way that vegetable oils can be responsible for all of this. The stuff isn't even made from vegetables. It's made from processing beans and seeds. That's why they are sometimes called seed oils. Now, you can go buy canola oil from the grocery store, but there's no such thing as a canola tree. It's just highly processed rapeseed oil. I use the word processed, and I put emphasis on it, because you can't just plant some seeds and make your own vegetable oil at home. You need one of these. A factory that uses heat, pressure, hexane as a solvent, and a metal catalyst just to get the oil from the seeds. Think about it for a second. You can't just smush up seeds and have oil residue. After you do all that, you still have to steam it to get the bad smell out of it. You have to bleach it to get the gray color out of it. And you have to add artificial colors and synthetic vitamins to it. I debate how complicated to get with these videos. I wonder which diagrams I use, which biochemical pathways I want to talk about. But let's step back from that for a second and think about this in simple terms. If you need a factory to make it, it's not food. Even the healthiest foods cooked in vegetable oil are bad for you. Whatever positive aspects the food has is obliterated by all the damage that vegetable oils do to you. Before I start going into how vegetable oil hurts you, I need to talk about oxidation. This is just brief, and I'll get way more into oxidation in a series of videos on inflammation that I'll do later. Those inflammation videos will talk about what you can do to get rid of inflammation, but there won't be anything in those videos to help you when it comes to vegetable oil. Let's think about that. I got rid of my gout. I got rid of my high blood pressure. I showed my friend Maki how to get rid of her thyroid tumor and how to stifle her autoimmune disease. And yet, if you keep vegetable oils as a steady part of your diet, I cannot help you. That's how bad this stuff is. Okay, oxidation. Picture your body as a highway. Think of the molecules in your body as cars on that highway. And think of electrons as the tires of those cars. Each molecule has the correct amount of tires, electrons, that it needs to travel on the highway. When I say to oxidize something, that means to steal an electron from it. Like if someone stole the tire from a car. After its tire is stolen, the car molecule is forced off to the side of the road. Now, in this scenario, there's no such thing as AAA, and spare tires don't exist. The only way to get back onto the road is to steal a tire from another molecule. In order to become stable again, an unstable molecule has to steal an electron, sometimes more than one electron, from other molecules. This quickly escalates into mayhem like the insurance commercials. Even within hours of processing, vegetable oils begin to oxidize. It doesn't stop there. They continue to oxidize while they're sitting on the shelf in the grocery store, sitting on your pantry shelf, waiting for you to use them. They oxidize even further when exposed to sunlight. Side note, that's why you usually see olive oil in dark tinted bottles to keep the sunlight out. But it's more expensive to do that. And a big factor in making the vegetable oils in the first place is that they're cheap to make. Vegetable oils are so reactive to sunlight that on a sunny day, a dry cleaning van caught fire because the vegetable oils reacted with the sunlight coming through the windows and spontaneously combusted. That sounds crazy. And it very, very, very rarely happens. But it does show how reactive that vegetable oils can be. And sunlight isn't even a requirement. Heat in itself is enough to generate those reactions. There have been plenty of people whose dryers have caught fire from the vegetable oil residue in their clothes while they were cleaning them. And it's not just inanimate objects either. Vegetable oils can make you more reactive in general and more reactive to sunlight specifically. People consuming vegetable oils are more susceptible to sunburns. The cell membranes in your body are made up of the fats that you eat. So, the fats you eat directly affect how well those cell membranes work. If you eat oxidized fats, like those in vegetable oils, then your cell membranes will be oxidized. When those oxidized cell membranes react with UV light, then they oxidize even further, hence sunburn. Vegetable oils can affect your skin even without sunlight. If you have cellulite on the backs of your legs, it is because rampant oxidation has eroded the collagen structure of the skin there. That's why the skin is more flimsy. If you want the cellulite to go away, you have to cut down on oxidation so that you can build those collagen structures back. I'm going to cut this video short for attention span purposes, but before I do, let me explain the title. You want your arteries to be flexible. Part of that flexibility comes from having proper endothelial function. Cigarettes and vegetable oils both wreck that endothelial function. A cigarette will wreck it for 4 hours. French fries fried in vegetable oil will wreck it for about 24 hours. But it doesn't stop there. A cigarette hurts your arteries and lungs, but it doesn't become what those arteries and lungs are made of. Vegetable oil, on the other hand, gets incorporated into your body and continues to promote oxidation long after the initial damage. Stay tuned for the next video where it'll get a whole lot worse than this somehow.